In this video, I'll be covering how to value your IFA business. So before you even think about retirement, you first need to get a good understanding of how the acquisition process works. A good starting point is to understand how to value your own IFA business or client bank and how acquirers are likely to assess what your business is worth to them. No two IFA businesses will be the same. Offers will vary depending on several factors unique to you and your IFA business. Throughout this video, we will aim to inform you on how to navigate through the various different factors that affect the valuation and consideration price so that you can define a fair price for your own IFA business. So let's give some context and go through why valuing an IFA business is so important. Correctly valuing your IFA is so important for a number of reasons. Firstly, planning for your retirement. It will be near impossible to plan without knowing a rough estimate of the funds you will have available to you. Without knowing if this is going to provide you with a fair value and enough for you to be able to live comfortably post-sale. Will you have any major expenses during your retirement? This could be things such as children's or grandchildren's university fees or weddings, moving home or buying a holiday home. What do you plan to do during retirement, and what will your lifestyle look like? And also consider the really important things like how often you'll be able to play golf. The second key point is about knowing timings. This follows on from my last point. Many will structure their exit timeline around the value from selling the business that they will receive. This means a firm may not necessarily be ready to sell now, but maybe 2 years' time when they're hopefully grown to a point where it is suitable and, most importantly, sustainable for them to hand over to an acquirer and receive a capital event for their business. And finally, open yourselves up to the right people. A key part of any exit is finding a fair buyer who you will be able to easily form a strong working relationship with and who you trust to deliver against their promises to look after your clients. Losing clients who have become friends is not ideal emotionally, but this could also reduce the final consideration value you would likely to receive as well. You really need to make sure that they have a client-centric proposition and approach to business in order to maximize retention. This will help take stress away from you and from the process, as you can rest assured knowing that they will provide a valuation that is likely to be close to what you end up being paid. Now let's go through the different ways of valuing an IFA business. In a recent article by IFA magazine, they recently detailed that the two main ways of determining a business worth are through a multiple of recurring income or a profit-based multiple, EBITDA. We would have to confirm that these are the two most common methods that we see here at IFA Acquisitions. First, let's cover recurring income. This is the amount of ongoing or recurring income that your business generates from funds under management per annum. In terms of what you can expect from this number, typically we see anything between 3 to 4 times, and this range is now an industry standard. However, in the current industry climate, with some of the larger consolidators with very big checkbooks from private equity, we've seen multiples of 4 to 5 times for the right client banks. The additional premium above 4 times can often be attributed to giving extra towards the additional corporation tax that would be payable on asset purchases being passed through a limited company. The other key purchase method is a multiple of EBITDA. This stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization, and is essentially an adjusted profit metric. The average offering by those acquiring firms using EBITDA is a bit vaguer than recurring income. It is again worth noting that each acquiring business will be different depending on their circumstance and size, and although EBITDA does have its critics, it is still one of the industry standards for valuing a business. An EBITDA calculation helps make sense of what profit the acquirer is buying when the acquirer is taking on costs, such as the TUPE of advisors and or support staff. Often multiples of up to 6 times is seen for SMEs and can extend to 8 to 9 times for larger businesses with, say, 500 million of funds under management or more. It is mainly used by any business that wants to take on a going concern with advisors and support staff that will remain in the business post-sale. At IFA Acquisitions, we have a number of nationwide acquirers with various preferences on acquisition types, so if you do chat to us, we can help tailor your needs and find the right acquirer for you. In a recent article by Financial Times, advisor Scott Gallagher, who's a chartered financial planner, gave another explanation. He said IFA businesses tend to be valued based on one of 3 ways. These include a multiple of ongoing advice charges, a multiple of profit, or as a percentage of assets under advice. We've already looked at the first 2 metrics, so let's look at the third metric a bit further. Percentage of assets under advice, or AUA for short, is an uncommon method but often used by the larger wealth management businesses who have their own DFM and will be reaping the lion's share of the TER, short for total expense ratio, rather than just from advice fees. This just shows that in acquisitions there are multiple ways of saying the same thing, which is why it's important to have a team around you who you can use to help you and understand these intricacies. Some acquirers will offer all options and others will be set on one model, so make sure you are aware of all the deal types. It is worth deciding your preference on which method of sale you would prefer if you had the option. Although for sole and dual advisor firms, the model most likely to be used will be a multiple of recurring income. Other things to consider that will indirectly impact your IFA acquisition include the average age of your clients and whether they are in accumulation or decumulation. More importantly, the percentage of clients aged over 75 or 80. This will be important information that acquirers will want to know because they'll want to know how long they can expect to service an existing client bank for and whether the asset they are buying will retain the purchase value if later sold. Hence, they'll be looking at the return on their investment. According to statistics provided by ONS, people aged 65 years in the UK in 2018 could expect to live on average a further 19.9 years for males, which is just shy of aged 85, and for another 22 years for females, so that expects females to live on average to age 87. If the percentage of clients over 75 or 80 is high, the likely multiple for these clients is likely to reduce the overall multiple that can be paid for all clients. This is where it is useful to know if the client bank is intergenerational, where you have the next generation that will inherit wealth. This is really favourable for a broker like ourselves to share this information with acquirers, as this means that they will be able to continue to service clients who have inherited this wealth. Your geographical business location and area of coverage for meeting clients is important, as this assesses the cost and time involved in travelling to meet clients who still want home visits. The average holdings per client household. The higher the average holdings means that there are fewer client reviews required, which helps minimise resource and cost of delivering servicing. Your investment propositions and whether these are portable, platform based. The latter is to be the most attractive to acquirers. For instance, some acquirers will shy away from assets that are harder to move to modern investment solutions. For example, a client bank overweight in bonds or trusts might make the assets less valuable to a buyer. Is it just you, or do multiple people have equity in the company? Do they share the same exit goals and timescale as you? If this hasn't been discussed with your co-directors, shareholders, then it is definitely worth trying to have a conversation about this subject with your co-owner or owners to discuss this. High risk areas of investment such as DB pension transfers may put some acquirers off acquiring those assets, and especially if the risk of advice will transfer to the new owner in a share purchase. Method of sale: share or asset purchase. Share sales are often favoured by sellers of limited companies because of obtaining up to £1 million of business asset disposal relief, with tax on the profits of the sale at 10%. However, asset purchase are usually favoured by acquirers because this means the risk of previous advice is left behind. To compensate for an asset purchase, these deals are often at slightly higher multiples, which can go towards offsetting any extra tax paid on the proceeds. How much recurring income is from pre-RDR trail will be considered when assessing the true valuation. Fewer businesses still have old style trail today. Because of the sunset clause, there is concern that product providers have ability to switch off trail when a business sells. Percentage of ongoing advisor fee charging and whether there is any uplift potential, e.g. purchasing a business with existing charges of 0.5% has uplift potential of doubling the charge to 1%. This would also increase the future value of that business. How much is the business brand worth? Consider things like years established, whether the firm has chartered status or has media coverage. Going forward, we will be posting more frequently on the IFA Acquisitions blog and YouTube channel regarding all of these topics, so make sure that you follow us on all of our relevant channels so that you can be notified when we do cover new topics. To give some advice. For most, it is once in a lifetime event and the culmination of a career's worth of hard work. So you want to rightfully get it right. Start by checking out the market. It may be worth checking out similar businesses to yourself to see what kind of things they are saying and what kind of prices they are demanding. But a good broker can easily help you with this. Doing market research costs nothing, so it's no brainer really to do this. Secondly, about what your unique selling points are. Shout about them. What makes your business stand out? Why would an acquirer want to purchase your business? This goes back to that idea of how much your brand is worth, known as a brand equity. Examples are if you're a well-established company, say over 30 years, you're chartered, or having strong professional or referral partners, this could lead to a premium price. Another key point, using professionals you can trust. The last thing you will want when considering retirement is having your business details commonly known as being up for sale. All this will do is cause client unrest and may upset your employees, damaging your business. Make sure you are using a broker that discusses options with you without having to send your details to multiple buyers, and ensuring NDAs are in place when your details do get sent. Finally, decide what you want. Hopefully you are happy with your valuation, but if not, don't worry. There is no set time on retirement. You can sometimes wait and grow your business to a point you are happy with before retiring. However, don't leave it too long, as we have seen that it can be counterproductive. To conclude this video, valuing an IFA business can be the first formal step in the retirement exit process. And for that reason, it can be a very difficult time for many. Often it can be an emotional process, as many struggle with the fact that their years of hard work and sacrifice have been put into a tangible number. However, it can and should be a very exciting time, as it allows you to look forward to a long and happy retirement, knowing that your clients will be well looked after for many years to come. This is the first video that we posted on the IFA Acquisitions YouTube channel, and I would suggest that you subscribe now and turn on all notifications so that you're notified every time we post. We'll be covering a number of topics that could help retiring IFAs in their journey, providing tips and context.